I gotta tell you, it comes in waves, and it definitely comes in threes. We got a 2017 Ford F-150 over here. It's got the 2.7 EcoBoost. Then over here behind me, we got a white one. This is another 2.7 F-150 EcoBoost. This one's four-wheel drive. It's got the two turbine chargers on either side of this little V6. I think this one is a 2020, I believe, maybe a 19. Let's go check the sticker. Sticker, Xerxes. Let's see what it says. Our build date was 2 of 20, so this one is a 2020. She's got 40,934 miles on the odometer. That's the one we're going to be working on shortly. Then over here, got another F-150. I think this one, I think it's an 06. Let's check the sticker on this one real quick, like, bear with me. Yeah, we got 05, build date of 0205. And I don't know the mileage on this one, battery should be disconnected. This one's torn down for destruction of the timing system on the unit. The chain guides came apart on it, and the chain was starting to saw a hole through the timing cover. See all that shiny metal right there? We found out we actually had to replace the valve covers too. The ignition coils go here, 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 and here, and somebody has over tightened. See that right there? You over tighten it and it splits the casing on the valve cover, and you can't secure the coils down, so we had to actually have some covers ordered for this unit right here. That's unfortunate. It is what it is. We got the cams out of it. We're waiting for the lash adjusters and the rockers to arrive. Yeah, this one's in pretty decent shape. It's a little sludged up inside, but we'll put some good oil in it, maintain the oil change schedule. That'll clean up real nice like. This one over here, back to the one we're going to be working on. This thing came in, I guess it's got an axle seal leak, I believe is what they said. It was at the dealership. Let's raise it on up and take a look. Go ahead and engage that black subscribe button if you guys are new here. If you're returning, go ahead and engage the like button. I usually don't ask, but the algorithms are all, we'll call them wishy-washy wonky or something like that. YouTube's trying to become TikTok, so it's messing up the long-form content. So I'm doing the things I can try to do to maintain algorithm standing and whatnot. Anyway, we're gonna get this guy up in the air. Ooh, make sure we're clearing that AC vent. Yeah, it's a big old boy. It's a big truck right here. We're going all the way up. It's an interesting story on this truck right here. This truck belongs to Mr. Perry. Mr. Perry is Holly's dad, and Holly is my wife's childhood friend from years ago. He was quite tickled to find out that I'm gonna put his truck on a YouTube video. Hello, Mr. Perry, good day to you, sir. Thank you for the content vehicle. Lauren appreciates you too. We were just talking about you earlier.
Yeah, I was so happy to see you because it's been 20 something years, and it was just really great to see you again. Yeah. You're
all smiles. How about that?
Yeah.
You know, it's the little things in life that really matter. It really can be. Like this little thing. This is actually not a little thing. This could be a big kind of a deal right here. We have a bunch of axle oil all over the place inside of the wheel on this unit. We got some oil dripping right over here, and I believe the primary culprit is going to be the axle seal that keeps the differential oil inside of the differential. So let's go ahead and get this wheel pulled off and see what we're in for. I have never serviced one of these vehicles for this particular issue, so I don't really know what I'm doing, and you guys don't know what I'm doing either, words, but we're gonna do it together. So stay tuned. This is gonna be a very good mechanical repair video. Now, normally I don't like to expose branded tools and products if I'm not partnered with them, but I was on the Snap-on truck the other day and they had a BOGO. It was a buy one get one free, so I bought a new 1/2-inch impact gun. I know I'm usually all electric and everything, but I really like this, and I'm a sucker for a deal. So it was buy one get one free. I got the 1/2-inch and I got the 3/8 and one swift swoop. I believe this is the MG725 Alpha 1/2-inch impact gun. That's the one that I bought. We're gonna use that today. It's gonna be the first time we use it. Let's go ahead and get an air chuck fitting hooked up to it. This is just probably going to be used here to pull off the the wheel or whatever. I know it's an expensive gun just for pulling wheels off, but I like the sound of it, and I kind of miss the sound of air tools, so I'm gonna try to bring that back. We're gonna buzz this wheel off with this new bad boy gun right here. Listen to the sound of awesomeness. And no, I was not compensated for displaying such video or such products on the video, and it was not free. I paid for that tool out of my own money. I'm not a free lunch kind of guy, and I always pay my way, so I'm not being a shill for Snap-on tools. That's just what I bought, and I'm a channel of transparency. Come here. I always, and will always forever be transparent with my operations. That sounds so cool, check it out. Yeah, I like it. Like I said, it's the little things. Like cool airgun sounds. Gravity. Oh, by the way, I figured out how to run 4K video on this this camera here. Let me know what you guys think about the 4K version of this new camera. I retired the GoPro and I got a DJI. I realize it's a Chinesium sellout, but hey, there's nothing we can do at this point because everything is made in China, even the good stuff, unfortunately. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna leave the brake assembly attached right here, the caliper to the bracket and the pads. I think I can just pull the bracket, caliper, pads, and the whole shebang out by removing that bolt there. And it looks like gonna be another one, yeah, right about here. So we'll pull those two bolts out. This assembly will come off. We can set it down on top the leaf spring over there. Probably got to pull the rear cover off of it, definitely, because the axle itself is gonna have to come out of the tube. So how we do this? Yeah, we're gonna have to pull the rear cover off, spill all the diff oil out of it, get the C-clip out, pull the axle out, etc., etc. Let's get after it. All right, back to normal, using the Electron tools one more time. I think the air tool sounds better. What do you guys think? I mean, granted, this does sound more modern. I should probably be careful impacting these. It's like, do you want low pitch pain or high pitch pain? Let's pull these guys off. Clever little mount mechanism they got here, isn't it? A little stud on the bolt. I like that. Now remember, the ones with the studs, they go here, here, and here, okay? You guys don't let me forget that. That one's loose. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna leave that one kind of loose. That way when we crack this loose, I said loose twice in different contexts. When we crack this thing loose off the case, it isn't just whoosh, dump fluid out everywhere and shoot us in the face with rear end lubricant. That would be bad. Okay, so I got this this little chisel right here, and what we need to do is get behind the cover and kind of pry it away. The idea is to get behind the cover without bending said cover. I gotta make it past all that sealant. Come on. I think I'm getting somewheres. Yeah. There we go. Little tappy, tappy, tap action. All right. Now, we can pull the rest of that cover back off and behold the internals. Yummy! Okie dokes. Let's let this thing drip dry for a while. We'll come over here and pull this brake caliper off here. Got a 21 flex head spline drive, extra long ratchet. Gonna need that for the leverages. Okay. There we go. And I know you guys can't see me, but I got the top one right here. I'm gonna push up. Okay, loosey goosey. Come around this way. And we'll just take this caliper assembly and stick it right up there like what we talked about earlier. Stay right there. Very good. Stay. That was a dead blow mallet, not a hammer. Oh, that leak is horrible. Look at that. Got oil in there. That's bad. Oh dear.
Hi, what do you want?
Simba. Okie dokie, so we're back at the differential. What we need to do, look way down that hole, you see that little copper looking clip. It's not really copper, but it looks copper colored. That little C-clip has to come out of the axle. But we have to push the axle inward in order to get the space to get that clip out. So we have to remove this pin right here from the differential case slash housing. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reach around with my flanges up to the drive shaft, and we're gonna rotate this axle around because I need to get access to that little bolt right there, okay? That bolt is the set screw that holds the pin into the case. Now, all these little set screw pins are usually 8 millimeters or 5/16, unless you have yourself a Jeep that's 5/16 12 point, in which case you must have the 12 point to get them off. It's not super fun. This one feels like it's 5/16 also. I've got an 8 on it and it's a little bit loose, but that'll do. Speed things up a bit, pull this guy out. Now, on a badly worn out differential, that pin will move around excessively, and you got to take this little set screw pin out, and you'll find out that they're broken off inside of the housing. That's always a whole lot of fun to get the thing apart if they break off. If they break off, you're kind of having a bad day, because that's when you learn your differential's worn out. Okay, see, now that the pin fell out, I didn't exactly want that to occur. Let's go back the other direction. Reach in there and get all nasty like, and push it out through the top. Yeah, right there. I could have put on gloves, but whatever. It's too hot for gloves today. Your hand will fill up with glove sweat, and it's nastier than just touching it. Now, I'm gonna rotate this back around very carefully. Gotta use caution when you do that, because see the spider gears, how they want to kind of stay? You have to stick a finger in the hole and use your finger to follow the gears around, or just manually align them as you rotate it. If you fail to do that and they go too far and those gears pop out, they're a real bear to put back in. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to just manually push this axle inward to get the space to get that clip out. If I can't push it by hand horsepower, then we gotta go in there and pry it out, but let's see. Give it a shove. Oh, that was easy. That was super easy. Sometimes they don't come out easily at all. Reach in there and pop that guy out. There is our C-clip. Now, the axle is free. Notice the splines in there? The splines on these side spider gears is what engages the axle. But now that that is free from the diff, we can pull the axle out of the housing and expose our wheel seal. Here she comes. Like so. Yeah, look, you can see it's been flinging grease and running down the front of this guy right here. That's an original seal. It says Fomico on it right there. What we're gonna do, there are seal removing tools, but this one has all kinds of space. So we're just gonna pluck it out with some angular pry bar. When you're peeling seals away, you gotta make sure that the end of your tool does not contact your housing. Because when you yank on it, it's the same thing for seal removers or pry bars or whatever, or even screwdrivers. When you yank on it, if it digs into that housing, it can put a nasty like scratch into it, and that will cause the new seal to leak because you've damaged the sealing surface of the housing. So we're just gonna try to pop this guy out. Bam, there she goes. It should also be noted that you can't reuse these. Like, let's say you got to change a bearing, but the seal was good and you didn't think about it, you're gonna have to change that, because you can almost never get these things out without complete destruction of the seal. The bearing in there, this bearing looks okay. Let's go in for the close-up. Take a look. Yeah, this bearing looks just fine. I don't see any scoring on it, no grooves, no pitting, no weird wear. We'll leave that bearing alone. Let's take a look at the surface on the axle to make sure the axle surface isn't damaged. And it looks pretty good here. Some dirt on it. I don't feel any inconsistencies, and there's no grooves cut into it. Yeah, I think we're good to just reseal this. No need to pluck parts out of it and replace them. I think we're all right. Just give that a good little wipey down right there. Clean off the oil. Inspect one more time. Yep, I think this is fine. Yep, so now what we need to do is get the new seal. I got a Timken seal, brand name, not sponsored, that's just what I'm using. It's either that or some cheaper versions of Chinesium. I don't know if these are Chinese yet or not. I think Timken might still be a domestic company. Nope, made in Taiwan. Is that gonna fit? That's a tight squeeze. Oh look, they put a seal in these. There's like some sealing material on that. Usually you just hammer the guys in and hope for the best. Let's tap this thing on in. Get it started nice and easy like. So now we're in up to the seal surface. We can give it the beans a little bit harder. Going in a circular motion. Bong! That's how you know it's done. Ding! Fries are done. Ding! Fries are done.
I Burger King making flavor whoppers. I would paper hat. Would you like an apple pie with that?
Would you like an apple pie? Now you see, I thought that was funny. Like, what was going through my head was what was translated into my voice, because that's what was entertaining me in the moment, because this job is mundane and quite boring, so we entertain ourselves. I realize some folks don't find that funny, but I did, and if I laugh during an edit, I'm putting it in the video, because it's funny and it's lighthearted, and you can't be so serious. If you take things too seriously, you're not gonna have any fun. I mean, there's a time to be serious and time to cut it up, and And I can cut it up in my head while I'm doing this because, well, that's what I wanted to do. It's fun. It's how I entertain myself. See, folks don't understand, this business is hard mentally and physically, and then mentally again after that. And you gotta find some way to release it all. Otherwise, you turn into an angry technician, come home, slam your door. Nobody wants to talk to you because you're mad all day because some service advisor cost you a bunch of money, and you're demotivated, and you're not enjoying yourself, and you're just having a real hard time in life. So if you have some fun, it can mitigate the suffering of having a day job working on people's vehicles, because it can be quite taxing. And that's why I am the way that I am. It's a mode of self-preservation. There. Not shiny, shiny. Not shiny, shiny. Now let's make it extra shiny. Now that is a sponsored product because I sell these on rainmanauto.com. Buy the 12-pack case or in a convenient 4-pack. And that will end my moment of shameless self-promotion. Yeah, why sell Snap-on tools when I can sell brake clean? Purdy. Alright, so now for a little bit of personal touch, let's add some lubricant to the equation here. I like to put a little bit of grease or lube of some sort on the seal. That way, when you put the axle in, you can't inadvertently nick the seal or cause damage to it or things of that nature. It's just to preserve the seal while it all goes back together. So we'll throw some lube in there, some petroleum-based oil lubricant. All right, so with that all warmed up and ready to go, let's go ahead and begin the insertion procedure here. I'm trying to keep the weight off the edges. We don't want to deform it. Okay, so we're running into the diff case. So I'm going to leverage this down some and kind of push it in. Wiggle, wiggle. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. And yeah, got it. That's in. Absolutely. So, fish out our little C-clip guy. Now look at the witness marks on it. Contact point here, contact point here. That's a different contact point than the other side. So this thing goes in directionally. See how the marks lined up with the little lip right there? So now, just pull this axle back out. That seats the little clip so it cannot fall out. And it looks like the other side has moved. There. Okay, so take our big pin. We're gonna rotate this case around so we can drop the big pin back in. More rotations. I've got the hole lined up with this hole here. See that? Rotate it around some more. And take our other pin, get that started right there. Rinse all the rest of that nasty oil out of there. I realize I've left the pin out, but I'm going to put some Loctite on it. I would like to rinse the oil off before I try to Loctite it. Just a little bit. It came with Loctite, I'm going to put it back with Loctite. Nice and shiny. Uh-oh. Dave. Dave, I'm running out of brake clean, Dave. It's out, no more, nada!
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
I don't do this part. Mr. Cassidy, will you wipe this thing out right here, get all that nasty oil out, and then get the little fingery Ziz wheel tool and polish off all that nasty over there if you would for me, sir.
Spinny tool?
Yeah, a little spinny tool, the Ziz wheel. Yep. And we're gonna come over here with the super scraper. It's a tungsten carbide cutting edge, super flat, and we're gonna use this guy to scrape off all the RTV on the housing. Get rid of all the sealant. I realize the sealant will contaminate the internals again, and I'll just spray it out again because I love to waste brake clean. You know, folks get mad at me for wasting brake clean. They're like, it's $4 a can or whatever it costs, and you're wasting it. And it's like, I'm not really wasting it, you guys. I'm not charging the customers for it. That's my brake clean. I do waste some of it, you're not wrong, but again, I find it funny. Dealership guys or dudes working in a shop, please do not use brake clean the way I use it. Your service manager will throw a hissy fit. Now, if you do want to use brake clean the way I use it, just buy your own. And then they can't throw a hissy fit. That's how I started buying blue towels. These blue shop towels right here, I love these things. Well, we used to have these at the dealership, and they were kind of my go-to. Now, coming from the restaurant land, once upon a time, you realize things like this are quite valuable, especially when you run out. So I learned to be ultra conservative with my towel usage, and I would use the same towel for a very long time. Like, it would not get thrown away until it was spent. I wouldn't use it like that and then throw this away. I would use the towel over and over and over again. Well, one day, the bean counters at my dealership, they decided, hey, we're spending a lot of money on these blue towels. Now, when used properly, these are great for doors and steering wheels and door handles, fenders, and anything that you need to get oil off of. But the dealership people told us, hey, we need you guys to use those red shop towels that the laundry people provide. Right? Now, before I continue the story, let me explain something to you about these red towels. See, this is usually how they come. They'll come in a bag from the laundry people, it's Cintas or UniFirst or whoever. And these are all recycled and laundered towels. They're not brand new. Now, you're gonna find these towels in almost every aspect of the industry. And being as how they're an industrial type towel, you're gonna find that they often have metal and grease and RTV silicone embedded into them. Well, they're not really ideal for wiping down painted surfaces or surfaces that customers touch. They're great for stuff like this because it doesn't matter. But if you've got a fine surface, you do not want to use one of these towels on the fine surface because you'll scratch up the paint. So if I get, some oil or grease or whatever on somebody's paint, they wanted me to use these kinds of towels to wipe it down. I'm like, well, that's stupid because we're going to damage people's cosmetics on their vehicle. That's what these are for. Well, the bean counters decided that these cost too much money and we should be using these, so they told us we're not allowed to acquisition these from the parts department anymore. The parts department still had them, we just weren't allowed to use them, right? Which totally made a whole lot of not sense at all. So, me being the problem solver that I am, I went down to Costco and I just bought my own. I mean, it's 12 bucks or something for like a 15 pack of those, when the dealership was paying $4.99 from the parts stores per roll. They wouldn't go to Costco and buy a bunch, and they wouldn't give me like the credit card to go buy some for us. So that was out of the question. Scrape that off right there. Regardless, I went out and I bought my own because my way of doing things, which I was comfortable with and was working just fine, required that I have blue towels. So I bought my own. And then I got in trouble for it because we had to have a meeting because somebody in management saw me with a roll of blue towels, and rather than asking me about it or going, hey, where'd that come from or what are you doing, they went and told on me and got me kind of in trouble-ish. And we had to have another meeting about why this guy has towels over here. They called me into an office and we're talking about it, and everybody's super not happy that I've violated the orders of the overlords. And I sat there and listened to it, and I said, that's all great and everything, but these towels, I bought them. These are mine. And they're like, you bought them? And I was like, yeah, these are my towels. And then the meeting was over. They still let me know we're not allowed to buy them from the parts department, but they tried to get somebody in trouble for disobedience meeting. And I was being highly defiant because they told me I wasn't allowed to use those from the parts department. But I didn't. I used them from the Costco department. So I circumvented the system. See, that's why I'm not employable. That's exactly why I'm not an employable individual. Because I will 1000% just go right around the problem. Especially the problem that somebody created for me. I don't appreciate those problems. So anyway, thanks to the Super Scraper, some brake clean, some red and blue towels. This thing is nice and shiny. Let's blow it out one more time, tighten down that pin right there, and then we can get the cover back on. Wow, that one has some backblast. Took the brake clean money shot to the face. Nice, shiny. Another. Got a couple drops of thread locker right there. That's good. Comforting to know that one little pin is what keeps the whole rear end together. Isn't that something? Here we go. We'll wipe off the driblets. Good to go here. Alrighty, that's looking super fantastic. Let's go ahead and move on over here. Mr. Cassidy has successfully cleaned up the differential cover. So now we can apply some sealant to this unit. Just gonna go around. Little bead, nothing crazy. Now forgive my flow pattern, I know it's not the prettiest. What the deal is there's dried up RTV in the nozzle on this tube, and it's making the spray pattern come out kind of sideways like. Also not the greatest. There we go. All right, that'll do. It's not super beautiful, but that'll be all right. Okay, so let's get this maneuvered into position. Everybody's installed, parts are here, the pins are in. I do not want to scrape the sealant on any surfaces, so let's try to get all this out of the way as much as possible. And we're just gonna straight shot it into position. Right there, good. We have some contact. Let's get a couple bolts in to locate and align this thing. That's good. Oh, hey, can you hand me that gun? It's out of reach. Thank you, sir. I'm gonna run these down to hold this in place here. That's good. I want to get the bottom ones in pretty quick. What I don't want to happen is sealant and oil mix at the bottom, because oil is naturally going to try to run out. Squishy. Very good. So now, let's get the rest of the bolts started. That pan moved a little bit. When I tighten down the bolt, I hope all the holes are going to line up. I may have to break it loose and readjust the pan. Let's see, this one goes in here. That one goes there. One more right here. I'm referring to the studded fasteners. That's in. Looks like 2 more in the mix. Beautiful. Yeah, I couldn't really find a torque spec for this, so I'm just going to make one up. Let's go up to 36. Nice. This one's a little over the 36. Yeah, it moved. There we go. All right. They all moved ever so slightly. I accept that. So we'll plug our plastics and whatnot back in. Maintain shininess. Another. I just want to get the oil off my bolt. Shiny. But we're not done yet. Let's dry off that brake clean. Loud noises, sorry. Sorry, headphone people. You know what? This is ugly. And you can see it from the back. I have an idea. See, the impact tore a bunch of paint off the fasteners, which is kind of gross looking. So let's give it some Rust-Oleum. Make it shiny again. Uh-oh. Something in the nozzle is disrupting my spray. That's not good. Man. I refuse to lose a $12 can of spray paint because the nozzle is gummed up with garbage. Yeah, we're not doing that. Maybe we are doing that. Yeah. I think I really did use or lose a $12 can of spray paint. And this one's empty. Will I have enough? Yeah, pretty close. So now, And put all this plastic business back on again. I know, it's little details, I know. I'd be mad at you if you spray painted my car without permission. There we go. Okay, let's leave this alone so that sealant can set up a little bit. So we're gonna come around over here and get the brake assembly reassembled. I wiped off the rotor. Throw that guy back on. Easy peasy like. And then our caliper assembly. Oh no. There we go. Stay. Stay right there. Need some bolts. Some fasteners. Bottom one. Stay. Top bolt. Ding. Back to the big wrench. Clicky. There we go. Beautifulness. Okie dokes. Let's move around one more time to the other side and the front side here. Sunlight. We're gonna pull the fill plug out. Now I realize that I should pull these plugs out first, but I'm in Florida and these plugs don't get stuck the way they do up north. So I'm not in the habit of pulling these fill plugs out. I'm not saying that if I didn't have a car that was all covered in rust, I wouldn't have pulled that out first, but it's not usually in my arsenal of procedure to pull those out first, because I'm 99.999% confident most times that plug is in fact going to come out of there. Look, it's just Amsoil 30. Stick that guy in there. It's a bag. This diff oils used to come in like a quart bottle. They still do, but I always buy them in the bags because the bag is a bajillion times easier to install the fluid. For example, look, I'm pumping fluid upwards by using my fantastical Amsoil bag. Here, let me give you guys some product placement. There you go. There's our nice logo. Look at that. See, that's how you professionally promote a product. I can do that because I'm actually an Amsoil dealer. There's a link down in this video's description to my Amsoil affiliate page, which takes you to Amsoil.com, where you may purchase all of your Amsoil products for your vehicle. End of shameless self-promotion. You know, I call that passive selling, and it's highly effective. It's when you are engaged in the practice of selling products and services, but you're not selling them to the customer, you're letting the product sell themselves. All you gotta do is offer it. It's amazing how that works. I'm not a fan of being a shill or a sellout or promoting things for money, but I'll do it for good purposes because it's good product. Baggy, and I think that should do it. I believe it's spec'd out at 3 quarts. Come on. It'll start running out of the bottom when we're, oh, I'm spilling on the floor. Yeah, just like that. It's gonna start running out of the bottom. There we go. We'll let that level out. I'm gonna rotate the wheel some. See the drive shaft turning? That's gonna spread some lubricant around the gear set in there. Make sure it's all coated nice like. A little bit more drain action. I don't want to run it overfilled. If you overfill them, the fluid will aerate, and then it's not effective. It can't be effective if it's full of air. physics. So I stuck a tiny bit of RTV on this plug threads just for a bit of a sealant. I do realize I ran that sealant onto a bunch of oil on the threads. Theoretically, the threads should seal that up all by itself, no problem, but I added the sealant in there for some extra security. Good to go. All right, let's get out of here. Get our drain bucket out of the way. Clear the area. Pop off the lock release, split her down and chuck the wheel back on there. It's good right about there, I think. Shoe. Back around to driver's side. So many obstacles. It's everywhere. Oh, watch this. I used to do this when I was younger. See if I can still pull it off or if I'm gonna hurt myself. Watch this. It's a way to bend down without having to bend down to pick up the tire. This is a heavy one. I don't know if I can do it. Hoorah! Look at that. Oh yeah, I can still do it. That's awesome. It's way easier on the back to do that than it is to like bend down all the time. Here's another back saver. You want to pick your tire up. Don't reach down and pick it up. Roll it up onto your legs like so. It does use a little bit of back, but you're not putting back under a bunch of strain because you're rolling the weight up onto the legs. Okay, lug nut time. So when running down your nuts, you should always do the bottom one first. If you look at how this wheel wants to sit, see how it's leaning back like so? Well, what can happen? If you put the top nut on first, you can effectively pin the wheel in that position. See that? And that will cause you to install the wheel crooked and make the wheel fall off. So you want to hold your bottom one in, do your bottom lug first. Then do the top one. Star pattern. Rapid pneumatic clicks. Alrighty, friends and viewers and friends and everybody else in any other category that you so choose to identify, I believe this is about donezo. We're gonna let her down and pull it out and park it. This job is good to go. So that being said, I believe I have nothing more to offer you on this particular video other than a thank you for watching this video. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. If in fact you did enjoy this video, please feel free to communicate that to me effectively by engaging the like button down below. Drop me a comment or two while you're down there. If you have not already done so and would like to see more content such as this, please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell. That way you are informed by YouTube when I upload a new video, which is I try every weekday. I don't always do every weekday, but I really do try. Anyway, guys, that being said, thank you again for watching. See you on the next one. Thanks for being here. Have yourselves a great day. See you guys later.